The ocean remains one of the biggest mysteries, and many things around the world wash up on shore that make us scratch our heads in confusion. These are the top 5 mysterious items that have washed up on shore. Coming in at number 5, we have World War bombs. Not only will you find seashells, seaweed and driftwood on the beaches, but you may come across some historical bombs from the First and Second World War. Many of these items found were simply dumped overboard after the wars had ended. Discoveries of these items have been found in at least 16 states from New Jersey to Hawaii. Neil Slowey, an oceanography professor at Texas University who had studied this phenomenon extensively, stated that, I quote, "Surprisingly or not, this stuff continues to turn up. They disposed of millions of tons of this stuff." A Defense Department report to Congress in 2009 said more than half of the sea disposals of munitions was done in the Atlantic Ocean. The Pacific got 35%, and the lesser amounts were dumped off Hawaii, Alaska, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Caribbean. Another study was released in 2012 estimating there are millions of pounds of undersea bombs in the Gulf of Mexico. Through a combination of natural phenomena, severely low tides and high atmospheric pressure caused 87 World War II bombs to wash ashore along England's Coulshot Beach in the early spring of 2011. Then in 2013, a beachgoer discovered a partially buried German mine in the surf about 10 feet from shore in Bay Head, New Jersey. On the same day that the Assateague Island National Seashore in Maryland did a controlled explosion of a World War II bomb that had washed ashore. Then in July 2015, a photo flash bomb designed to illuminate the night sky over World War II battlefields was discovered on a beach near Tampa, Florida, where authorities blew it up on the sand. In 2018, on the beach in Mantoloking, New Jersey, was where 7 World War I rifle grenades were found when the beach was undergoing a beach replenishment project to undo damage from Superstorm Sandy. Coming in at number 4, we have feet. Not only do sea creature bodies and body parts wash ashore, but even human remains have surfaced. Over the last 15 years, at least 21 feet have washed up on beaches between the United States and Canada in the Pacific Northwest. The appendages are almost always still intact inside of a shoe, with no signs of what happened to the body or where they have come from. Each time this gruesome discovery is made, fear and speculation spread among the public. The first of these incidences happened in August of 2007 on British Columbia's Jedediah Island. A girl on vacation from Washington found a shoe, and when she looked inside, there was a foot. The remains were later identified as a local missing man. These similar discoveries have been made over the last decade and a half along the shores of the Salish Sea, on both the British Columbia coast and Washington. In at least 2 instances, leg bones were still attached to the feet. The latest discovery was made in January 2019 on Jetty Island in Everett, Washington. A human foot was found in a boot, and it was later linked to a man who had been missing for 3 years. Dr. Kara Raj, an NHS surgeon, says there's a really simple explanation for why this grisly phenomenon keeps happening, and it has nothing to do with people's feet being chopped off by some deranged psychopath. Raj says that when a body sinks, the scavengers in the sea tend to feed off softer parts of the bodies, and that includes the soft tissue and ligaments around our ankles. He also states that the reason it's happened more since 2007 is because of a change in sneaker design. Over the last few decades, shoes have become more buoyant, said Raj. As a result, we could be seeing more severed feet wash up on our shores. The feet are thought to belong to people who were killed in accidents or took their own lives. Medical examiners have ruled that the feet became separated from the bodies as part of the normal decomposition process. Many of the limbs have been linked back to their humans using DNA analysis. In at number 3, we have 2-headed dolphin. It's not unusual for dead marine animals to wash up along the shore, but this particular specimen may be the oddest discovery yet. In 2014, a 2-headed dolphin calf washed up on the shore of a Turkish beach. According to Dogan News, the dead dolphin, which was discovered by a gym teacher who was on vacation, washed up onto the beach in Dikili, Turkey, coming from the Aegean Sea. According to the Daily Mail, the calf was believed to be around 1 year old and measured 3.2 feet in length. The calf consisted of 2 heads and 1 tail, and the eyes and blowhole on one head were not fully opened. Tugurul Metin, the teacher who had found this incredible creature, said, "I couldn't take it in at first. I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. I've never even heard about a dolphin like this, let alone seen one with my own eyes. I was completely shocked." The remains were taken for a study to the Marine Biology Department of Akdeniz University, where the associate professor Mehmet Gokoglu said it was similar to the occurrence of conjured human twins. The dolphin had a rare condition known as polycephaly. This 2-headedness is a severe example of conjoined twins, which results from the incomplete incomplete splitting of a fertilized egg. The result is a shared body with separate heads. Polycephaly has been observed in numerous animals such as snakes, sheep, dogs, fish, and people. Coming in at number 2, we have Garfield phones. Beginning in the 1980s, bright orange fragments of Garfield novelty phones were spotted washing up onto a stretch of coastline in Brittany, France. For the past 30 or so years, locals have been finding coiled phone cords, receivers, and feline heads strewn across the shore. Beach cleaners would pick them up. Inevitably, the cat phones kept coming back. The source of the pollution was a disconcerting mystery, and no one knew where the phones were coming from and went unsolved for 30 years. Claire, president of the environmental group Archaeological, thought activists worried the phones were drifting up from a lost shipping container at the bottom of the ocean, where the plastic Garfield merchandise could be contaminating the marine ecosystem. After years of speculation, the mystery of the wayward Garfield phones were recently solved, but the concerns around the environmental impact remain. The breakthrough in the case came when the publication France Info reported on the Garfields as part of a campaign called Pollution Alert. This caught the attention of a local farmer named René Morvan, who met Claire on the beach and told her he knew where to find the cartoon cats. According to Flynn, he said that in the mid-1980s he'd observed the orange phones dotting the beach after a storm. He and his brother decided to investigate, combing the rocky area in the hopes of discovering the source of the strange deposits. Eventually they found it, a metal shipping container stuffed with Garfield phones stuck deep in a sea cave. For most of the year the cave is rendered inaccessible by the tide, but eventually volunteers were able to make it inside. As they climbed up the entrance of the cave, they stumbled upon bits of Garfield scattered across the rocks. They hoped that once they entered the cave they would find the shipping container still brimming with phones, potential debris they could prevent from entering the ocean environment, but that was unfortunately not the case. Claire states, "What we found was the remainder of the shipping container and it was empty. The bulk of the phones were already gone and the sea had done its job for 30 years, and unfortunately it's time for the environmental group to pick up the pieces, literally." And finally, in at number 1, we have Snowballs in Siberia. In 2016, residents along the Gulf of Ob, an area in central Siberia above the Arctic Circle, found something strange along the beach, an 11-mile stretch of snowballs. No one in the town of Nida, the closest to the snowball-covered shoreline, remembers the phenomenon occurring before. A local tells the newspaper that, "We have them only in one place. It's as if someone spilled them. They were all different sizes, from tennis balls to volleyballs. We were all very surprised." According to news reports, the snowballs first formed in late October after water in the Gulf of Ob rose and covered the beach in ice. Just as kids roll snowballs along a snow-covered surface to create bigger spherical creations, ice on the beach rolled along the sand as the tides receded, creating the frozen orbs. This is the first time the icy orbs have been reported in Siberia, but a similar situation had been recorded elsewhere. In 2013, beach ball-sized ice balls washed up along the shore of Lake Michigan, some of them weighing up to 75 pounds. At the time, park ranger Amy Lipscomb explained that those ice orbs form when chunks break off larger ice sheets. Waves round and smooth each layer of ice, like a rock tumbler, as they are added to the balls which are eventually deposited on the beach. Similar ice balls were recorded in Lake Michigan in 2010 and 2015, in the Gulf of Finland in December 2014, and also recovered at Sebago Lake in Maine in winter of 2015. This is truly a natural phenomenon. Hopefully the people of Nida love a good snowball fight, especially one that comes complete with ready-made ammo. Well, there we have it. I will see you in the next video.